everybody, welcome to Game Day View, presented by Caesar Sportsbook. Patrick Claybon back here with Greg Rosenthal and Cynthia Freeland. This is a smile because it happened thing, because this is the final one of the season, because we only got one football game left, guys.
I am excited for it, though. It's the two best teams, and we also get to celebrate the best of the best when it comes to picking games. Here she is, the Kansas City Chiefs of Game Day View, Cynthia Freeland, wearing her champagne-colored shirt to celebrate and dunk on us.
I just like the shirt, guys.
It is great.
I just thought it was cool.
It's a nice shirt. The glass metaphor does hold true for Cynthia in the playoffs, because she is rocking the crown.
Oh my gosh, don't show that.
Greg went double, swings for the fences in Conference Championship Week, so that's why he is currently sitting at 6-6. Now, of course, we are going to ultimately get to who we will select for our final pick of the season, who's going to win Super Bowl 59 a little bit later. The Chiefs and the Eagles had an epic battle from the Lombardi Trophy just a couple of years ago in Glendale. Why don't we take a quick look back?
Super Bowl 57 starts now.
Mahomes loads a pass near side. Kelsey over the shoulder. He's got the touchdown.
Hurts looking deep. It's caught for a touchdown. A.J. Brown.
Now the ball's out. The Chiefs defense gets an incredible touchdown.
Hurts is going to run and score. And the Eagles lead 21-14.
Mahomes, he's hurt. Mahomes is hurt.
You can expect them to test the durability of Patrick Mahomes.
Quick pass to Tony. He will walk into the end zone. The first lead of the game. Wide open, Sky Moore. Touchdown. Kansas City.
They push. They sneak. They're in for the touchdown.
Don't underestimate how tough Patrick Mahomes is. 26-yard scramble. 11 seconds left. 35-35 tie. The kick is good. For the second time in 4 seasons, the Lombardi Trophy has a big red reflection. The Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 57.
Super Bowl 57 was a great game, so glad we get to run it back for the rematch. We'll start by talking about our players to watch on the Chiefs offense, and I'll kick it off and discuss the oft non-discussed factor, Patrick Mahomes, because sometimes he's seen like a given, like the tides and their connection to the moon, but the fact that we have a planetary-sized object orbiting us that's the perfect distance for solar eclipses is tidally locked. It's cool. Just like a quarterback playing his 5th Super Bowl before he turns 30 years old. One of the differences, though, in the playoffs, he scrambled on 15% of his dropbacks compared to just 5 in the regular season. It's so difficult to just dial it up and be a different football player in a different circumstance, but year after year he does it. So yeah, he's the player to watch because he's Patrick Mahomes. It feels obvious.
Well, you talk about him scrambling in the postseason, some changes we see from the regular to postseason. How about Xavier Worthy's opportunity here? Not only is he now the motion man, the guy we see running ahead of the snap, but also they've adjusted his average depth of target way down, so they're asking him to use a lot more yak. That's where they're leveraging Xavier Worthy's speed. Before it was like over 11 air yards per attempt. That was the target. Now it's like less than half of that. So let's see him in motion. Let's see what happens with the ball in his hands. Let's see all that yak in the Super Bowl.
I don't think people realize how good Worthy is, that he could be, to me, as good of a player as, let's say, Devonta Smith is, like a future #1 type of guy. So she stole the guy I wanted. But when I was watching Xavier Worthy, I kept seeing this other blinding light running down the field, and his name was Hollywood Brown. And it occurred to me, for the first time all season, this Chiefs team was fast. They were the slowest team in the NFL. They really were all season long. And people are like, oh, the Chiefs were playing okey doke all season. We'll get into it throughout the course of this show. No, they're a different team now than they were before. You have 2 really fast receivers testing downfield coverage, and Marquise Brown is going to really determine this game because Patrick is a fan of the Ravens.
That's a dangerous situation to be in.
It could be up. It could be down. He could have a big drop. As a Ravens fan, he was there watching sometimes when Marquise Brown didn't make that catch. But I'm telling you, he has been getting open, and his speed combined with Worthy's speed has transformed this offense from a station-to-station group to one that has a lot of explosion.
Let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. Who do you have your eye on, Cynthia, as the player to watch on defense?
Well, there's a lot to watch, but I'm looking specifically at Justin Reed in this matchup. We know they're going to have to account for Saquon. We know that they're going to have to account for outside the numbers passes to A.J. Brown. Well, what about the middle of the field? What about where Dallas Goedert might potentially be. We know that this is the best tackling defense in the NFL. If you're looking at the next-gen stat, that's how many missed tackles or missed tackle rate. It is the lowest for any team. It's like 10.7%, so sub 11%. Now, what kind of holes and what kind of sacrifices will you have to make? Are you going to blitz a lot? Are you going to drop back a little bit more in coverage? Are you going to stack the box? What's going on? Well, you're going to need the guys in the back, so you're going to need the safeties, you're going to need the quarters to really be playing chess when everyone's playing checkers. And Justin Reed also won the chess championship this year, so I'm just saying.
Wait, what chess championship?
Chess.com does a chess championship every year.
Wow.
Drew Tranquil won last year. Justin Reed won this year, so
they're fast.
chess, checkers.
They're smart.
They
And
think
he was a
ahead.
guy who missed some time this year, too. So that's another reason why they're better now than they were. Another reason is that Chris Jones is playoff Chris Jones. We talk about Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Spags as kind of the three weight-bearing walls of the Chiefs. You got to put Chris Jones in that mix. I'm not saying he's doing an okey-doke, but I do think Chris Jones in the playoffs and Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs are even better. They're breaking out things you didn't see. And what we saw from Chris Jones in the first half of that Bills game was a game-changing, game-winning performance. He helped get them that lead, and he's so rare because he's out there on the edge beating tackles like Spencer Brown, who's a great player one-on-one. So he'll be inside, he'll be outside. He's the rare guy who can make an Eagles offensive lineman look bad, as good as they are.
Yeah, there's one person on this show that we refer to as a person who doesn't occasionally tell the truth. I'm calling it on the entire Chiefs roster when they talk about, oh, we don't think about the three-peat. To be able to have this level of sustained success, you have to prepare your bodies and be willing to change things up to be here in the playoffs. Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes fall into that. A guy who made a big play in the last Super Bowl, Nick Bolton. We think about the Eagles and the Chiefs flying up and down the field in the second half. It was Nick Bolton picking up that ball. Of course, as Andy Reid said on opening night, ball's not round. They bounce. Sometimes they bounce directly to Nick Bolton. I think if Nick Bolton playing against this Eagles run attack, not just Saquon, but all of the connections that they play with up front, if they are wrong a couple of times, 26 is running to the end zone by himself. They have to have an A game. If they have a B game, I think the Chiefs don't have an opportunity here. So I think Nick Bolton is my player to watch. Let's move on, take a peek at the Super Bowl leading receiver odds. Travis Kelce, of course, had the big one last time out. A.J. Brown, the odds-on favorite at plus 180 to lead the game in receiving. Xavier Worthy, Devontae Smith down there. So let's discuss, Cynthia, who's going to be the game's top pass catcher?
Well, I'm going to go a little chalky here, and I'm going to say that it is, in fact, A.J. Brown, in large part because of what we've seen outside the numbers, especially in recent games. Those outside the numbers passes have been where Jalen Hurts has been on a freaking heater, and that's where A.J. Brown will have a huge physical mismatch against pretty much anyone in the league that tries to match up against him, but especially if number 22, Trent McDuffie, isn't on him, that's where he'll have a chance to absolutely eat. But again, outside the numbers passes, that's going to be a difference maker in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Xavier Worthy because he's the guy catching the passes from Patrick Mahomes, and he's the clear one right now.
And his number is one.
That too.
It's true.
He's just going to get a lot of targets. They really scheme their offense up to specifically get Xavier Worthy looks in a way that I don't think they will for any other player on that team. He is making contested catches. He has the faith of his head coach and his quarterback, which I don't think he had early in the season. And even though nobody asked me, just like for a little underdog pick, Dallas Goedert's kind of sneaky in there at plus 800. If you were going to go on the other side, I think that would be like a fun underdog.
Yeah, what about the guy who was the leading receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles in this game in Super Bowl 57 back in Glendale? Now, Devontae Smith is in his home state of Louisiana. He probably has a similar performance, going for over 100 yards this time. He's played against the Spags Chief defense 3 times in his career, one of them being in the Super Bowl. The totals are 321 yards in those 3 games. I think Devontae Smith is the leading receiver in Super Bowl 59. We're just getting started here on Game Day View. The Lombardi Trophy, folks, is up for grabs. And the number of Super Bowl prop bets is endless. You only get one Lombardi Trophy. You can make 1 billion prop bets if you do it right. We've done the work for you. Coming up, our favorite props for the big game. Stick around. You're watching Game Day View.
NFL Game Day View is presented by Caesars Sportsbook. New users can place their first bet up to $1,059 and get it back as a bonus bet if you lose. Use promo code TV1000. Must be 21 or older. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms.
What's up with it? Yeah, everything's smooth. I'm on the field right now. Now, I've been thinking about a guest performance.
You can watch the Apple Music Super Bowl 59 halftime show featuring Kendrick Lamar with SZA and others. February 9th on Fox. It's a surprise. We're not going to tell people. Let's dive in to some fun prop bets with some quick picks here on Game Debut. First one, Cynthia. Will the opening coin toss be heads or tails?
Well, it's tails. Why? Well, just so you know, in 58 Super Bowls, 30 times it's been tails, 28 it's been heads. In the past 6, it's gone evenly heads and tails. I don't actually have any reason other than I just prefer tails. Tails
there we go.
Fails. It's a lot of fun, but you can tell your friends 30 tails, 28 heads. There you go. You'll be the hit of your party.
It's like those people staring intently at the history on the roulette wheel. What do we think about the first guy to score, Greg? Will his jersey number be higher than 10.5?
I'm saying no.
Devontae Smith?
We got Xavier Worthy.
Xavier Worthy.
Jalen Hurts is known.
Jalen Hurts was what did it for
26, though, is
26 is a high number, but you know who scored more rushing touchdowns than 26 this year?
Who?
Number 1. Does it count if it's a passing touchdown? I guess not. That would be the receiver. Do we have any receivers other than?
Well, it's 6, but then 11 becomes a problem.
Yeah, 11 becomes a really big problem.
Significant.
I went with the numbers here. 11, 26, 87. I just went with how many people I think could catch a touchdown, and that's why I went with more, higher.
Yeah, but Greg's got Hollywood getting.
I'm going number 5, Hollywood Brown with a big play.
Love it.
Make it as painful as possible. Who's going to go for 2, Cynthia? Will there be a successful 2-point conversion on Sunday in New Orleans?
The answer is yes. This is the year of 2-point conversions. This is the year where the analytics says actually just means we're going for it on, 4th down, 2-point conversions, all of these things. I think the 2-point conversion will be a strategic point. We all agree across the board. Meme alert us away, you anti-2-point conversion people. We are saying yes to this one.
Yo, shout out to the production crew, Hytham, and everyone back there for bringing back these great memories of all the influential 2-point conversions, which led to that Patriots-Falcons comeback, and some big ones, obviously, in Chiefs-Eagles. I think there's some analysis to be made here, which is that these are 2 teams that have found the religion on 4th down, and to me, 2-point conversions very close to 4th down. You're going to go for it.
They're very good at it as well. It helps. You can't be bad and just go for it.
No, you have to be good at it.
Yeah, because you're probably not scoring the touchdown in the first place if that's the case. The Gatorade bath, fantastic tradition. We love it. We're powered by it, Greg. What color is it going to be for the winning coach?
Well, every year I pick green. This year they didn't even give me an option as green. I'm colorblind. Another way the NFL really doesn't think about our colorblind people out there. I'm going blue, though. We're going blue. I don't know if it's the freeze blue or it's just blue. They have a couple different shades of blue, so maybe that gives blue an advantage.
So here's the thing I need to tell you. The last time the Eagles won, it was yellow. The past 2 seasons, it was purple for the Chiefs. Does that change anything for you, Greg?
No, this is a ridiculous question. But
I just think it's not orange.
If you really think
I
about
could fade orange. It's not going to be orange.
Prop things, if you really drill down to it, because I hear someone say Mahomes has hit his rushing prop 5 out of 6. I mean, it's probably not any more indicative than yellow or blue. So I
just think people are superstitious. And the orange, then the next year when they lost the Super Bowl, I heard a rumor it's orange there too. So I'm thinking fade orange. But yellow was the Eagles last time, different regime. But if you really think it's the Chiefs, probably purple. Superstition, 3 in a row.
And you could maybe get some insight in what the players said on their favorite Gatorade flavor, because the one that gets dumped on the coach is the one that didn't get consumed during the game. So something to consider. Last year, Super Bowl went to overtime. Will this year, Cynthia?
No.
Oh.
I mean, look, we've had a couple recently, but I think in this game, it's going to come down to a game-winning drive, but I don't necessarily think it will be extra football. I think we are ending with 60 minutes of regulation.
I like the NO right there for New Orleans. It's stylized, it's beautiful. We got a lot of work to do here. It's a central time zone game. We're gonna have post-game coverage. We're gonna do an NFL Daily podcast. Let's have a great game in regulation. We don't need any overtime. I don't like those rules.
60 minutes for the rest of our lives. Before we go, we got to go backwards. We got to go way back in week 1. One of us nailed their Super Bowl prediction. The other 2, not so much. We will make it our Super Bowl predictions for Super Bowl 59 in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana.
I have some good news for you, Cynthia, that your Lions are going to make it. They're going to be in it. But I have some bad news for you, too. I'm going off the board. We just saw, how are the Buffalo Bills not on this board?
I've got the Green Bay Packers after giving Jordan Love that massive contract, making it to the Super Bowl, and falling to Baltimore Ravens.
Hit him in the head!
Probably not the smartest thing to say.
So I actually think that it's going to be the Eagles plus 1,300 over the Chiefs. Getting Saquon Barkley allows for a lot of new wrinkles and folds in this offense, things we haven't seen before.
Well, we did see them before because you said they were going to happen, Cynthia, so they happened. Congratulations.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while,
you're winning the picks. If you had actually put down that prop of this exact matchup, you wouldn't even be watching right now because you'd be so rich.
Plus 4,500 at the start of the season.
Not bad, not bad.
Pretty solid pick.
Yeah.
We appreciate the contributions of one Cynthia Freeland. When we come back, we're talking all things Philly. Which Eagles players are set to shine on football's biggest stage? Fly, Eagles, fly! On the road back from this victory, which is having you spend time with us on Game Day View, presented by Caesar Sports.
I'm defending that Bills-Lions pick. That was a good pick.
They will.
All I ever wanted was a black Grand National. Being rational, give them what they ask for. It's not enough. Few solid left, but it's not enough.
They got him. They sack him. What a throw, what a catch.
Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. My style!
The Eagles are unstoppable. He's gonna go!
How good is this guy?
Turn his TV off, turn his TV off. Turn his TV off, turn his TV off.
This is why we're the best in the league. Caught for a touchdown! Jalen Hurts in for the touchdown! Fly, Eagles, fly to Super Bowl 59!
Time for Home Field Advantage, presented by Zillow, Devontae Smith's hometown of Amite City, just an hour outside of New Orleans. A fun fact, it's on the Amite River, which they call it the Amit River in Mississippi, so the name changes as it goes through Louisiana. It's Amite. So it's going to be a homecoming for Smitty, the Heisman Trophy winner. But what's his number going to be? Cynthia, will Devontae Smith have over or under 51.5 receiving yards on Super Bowl Sunday?
Oh, I really like that one. My model has like 56. You know I'm a conservative modeler. I think this could be one where we see one of these deep catches for at least 19.5 yards all in one play. In fact, I really like that if you're picking up what I'm putting down, but ultimately over 51.5 total yards. Faux show.
I think one difference between this Chiefs team now and a couple years ago is the questions at the outside cornerback position. You know, McDuffie's good there, but he's better in the slot. So when he is in the slot, then if Jalen Watson, who's returned, I just don't think they're maybe as strong as they were a couple years back when it was L'Jarius Sneed out there.
Yeah, having a couple of options definitely helps. It's going to be a lot on McDuffie. Speaking of Devontae Smith, let's talk about some more guys on this Eagles offense to watch. Who do you have your eyes on, Greg?
Well, why not start with the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, who is coming off his best game, I thought, of the season in the conference championship game. So let's just remember, his best game of his career, I believe, was in the Super Bowl. Best game of this season's in the conference championship game. That's a big game player, and he is the biggest X factor in the entire game because when he's getting rid of the ball quickly and it's time to throw, in that NFC championship was the second fastest since week 8 in making quick decisions. He's an accurate thrower. He's a very talented thrower, especially outside the numbers, and he has good players around him. They're going to be very difficult to stop. But when he's holding on to the ball and he's not making quick decisions, and maybe Spagnuolo confuses the offensive line or him, then things get a little hairy. But if you get that Jalen Hurts from the NFC championship game, like, watch out, Eagles offense.
Yeah, I mean, what happens with Jalen Hurts? The best thing is the combination, just kind of like us, right? We need our teammates together. Patrick's our O-line, you're Jalen Hurts. I'm Saquon Barkley, and that's who I'm looking for in this matchup, obviously. I told you before the Chiefs are the best tackling defense, but this guy is the yak guy. This guy is the guy who's taking the ball to the outside, taking the ball to the inside, catching the ball. He's kind of the do-everything guy, and now they're giving him all of these yards before contact. Have you seen those quads? Do you know what happens when he gets a full head of steam and then runs into you? Much harder to bring down. There's so many great stats about Saquon Barkley and so many fun things that you could say, but the one that I'm looking at specifically in this matchup is how many times, once he's reached his full speed, that he's been able to get at least 5 yards more after contact. And news alert, spoiler alert, it's even more than Derrick Henry this week. So it's by far and away the most. That's why those explosive plays are working. That's why he's getting those extra, really long rushes.
Yeah, he almost doubled his yards before contact, best season ever. Like double what he was able to do in his best season against playing for the New York Giants. I've got another piece of this offense, one that we kind of sometimes forget, and that's Dallas Goedert and what he brings for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, perhaps had the worst performance on Super Bowl opening night when he was asked what his favorite Taylor Swift song, and he said, "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls." Dallas, the name of the song is just Waterfalls. It's a TLC song. It's legendary. I'll give him an excuse because maybe we show our age a little bit, but he is...
he clearly thought of that one ahead of time.
No, that's wrong in so many different ways.
In many aspects. Taylor did cover Unpretty one time if we're talking about TLC songs. But either way, when Dallas Goedert is running crossers, when the Philadelphia run game is going, when Devontae's opening on the outside, AJ has options. There's just so many options for Jalen Hurts to hurt you, and you often forget about Dallas Goedert. But I think he is a key aspect to the offense in this game. Let's flip it over to the Eagles defense, Greg. There's so many guys that can make plays. Which one are you watching the most?
I'm going to watch Milton Williams on the defensive line. He's the defensive tackle next to Jalen Carter. We know Jalen Carter is a difference maker and is going to get double teamed. We know the edge rushers have really improved. What I think is getting missed is that Milton Williams has made as much money as any player in the NFL with his performance in these playoffs and really throughout the course of the season. I think he might have been the best defensive player on the field in that NFC Championship game. He was dominant, had a ton of game-changing pressures, really blowing up the backfield on passing downs and on running downs. And if you're a great interior rusher and you're getting one-on-ones, I think there could be mismatches here against the guards of the Kansas City Chiefs. So keep an eye on Milton Williams. There's bigger names around him, but he could be that game wrecker, and this happens in the Super Bowl. The guy you didn't see coming, forcing Patrick Mahomes and that running game to really have to speed up what they want to do.
Well, you're talking about a guy who he's kind of really taken a step forward this postseason. Well, now I'm talking about two guys who they don't even maybe know how important this moment is because they're both rookies, and that's Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. These defensive backs have totally changed. They're the difference makers to me in this matchup between what happened 2 seasons ago and now. If you look at Quinyon Mitchell, just don't throw the ball to him. In the playoffs specifically, you're way, way, way better off throwing the ball into the ground where you get a 39.6 passer rating than into his coverage. It's like 3. It's like something like 3, something crazy like that. And then if you're looking at what happens in nickel whenever Cooper DeJean's been in, so when he came in after week 7, it's just the fewest yards allowed per attempt in the league when they're in nickel. No big deal. But I think we were talking about, all of the different ways Jaden Daniels might not realize how hard it is to get to where he's going. I don't know if these two guys know how hard it is to get where they're going. And if you can get that pressure up front and you can back it up with these guys in the back, that's going to be really hard on the Chiefs.
Yeah, especially considering Patrick Mahomes attempted a career high, almost league high, in terms of passes behind the line of scrimmage. I think it's big for Cooper DeJean in that aspect. You got a couple of rookies. I'll take a second-year guy in Nolan Smith. And we saw the type of trouble that the Eagles made for the Commanders on the edge with Jaden Daniels, who nobody was able to deal with on the edge all season long. I think you have to be able to make the decision process a little bit quicker for Patrick Mahomes when he's out on the edge making plays, especially late in games. And Nolan Smith has that speed and that ability to cause that fraction of a second that I think can lead that secondary to make some plays. So Nolan Smith will be my Philadelphia Eagle defender.
He got Jaden Daniels' shoe off during that game. That's how fast
That's tough. People haven't been able to pull his flag, much less get a shoe off. Up next, we're putting the biggest stars in Super Bowl 59 head-to-head.
Love it.
They don't get to do that on the field. Mahomes versus Hurts. Kelsey versus Goddard. Saquon against literally anybody. Who's ready to light up the scoreboard? We'll tell you when we come back on Game Day View.
And they want me to run it up again,
We're gonna talk about this forever, baby. Champ, what up, come
Once I
on?
run the play and run the play, bet you put that golden trophy in my hand and I'm winning once again.
Hey, embrace this moment.
Mahomes in the pocket, floats a pass to inside, Kelsey over the shoulder,
That's
touchdown!
off day. That's off day.
Gonna throw a quick pass, he will walk into the end zone!
Great call.
Don't underestimate how tough Patrick Mahomes is.
Super Bowl chance, baby. Let's go.
Welcome to Super Bowl 58.
Every single snap, everything you got for the guy beside you.
Mahomes, trying for the end zone, wide open, caught. Shades of Super Bowl 57. Right side touchdown.
Legendary, man. I can't say anything. I want to get 3, though.
Do not miss a moment of Super Bowl 59, no matter where you are. Sign up for NFL Plus and stream Super Bowl 59 and much more live on mobile. Subscription required. Visit plus.nfl.com in order to see the full terms. It's time for Expert Playmakers, presented by Intuit TurboTax, as we discuss some player pop. So some big quarterback showdown between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Greg, which quarterback is going to throw for more touchdowns on Sunday?
I mean, I've got a lot of Eagles choices here, but what are we doing? It's Patrick Mahomes. It's the greatest player I've ever seen enter the league, and he always plays his best in these games, and it's just much more of a pass-first offense. It's more passing touchdowns, Mahomes or Hurts. Now, if it was more total touchdowns, that's a different prop, and that one, I might go in a different direction because of what Jalen has done on the ground. But one of the things I've loved to see out of Mahomes in this postseason, I think he's been more willing to go for big plays and go for the kind of jaw-dropping, big-time throws that made us love him when he first was coming up and won his first Super Bowl. And it's not that he's not trying in the regular season, but I do think he's a little more willing to try some things and take some risks in the postseason that he doesn't in the regular season.
All right, so as for who those risks are going to, who has more receiving yards in the game for the Chiefs, Cynthia? Hollywood Brown or Nuke Hopkins?
I know this is going to sound crazy, but my answer, DeAndre Hopkins.
Wow.
In large part because I think what Andy Reid does is he finds those little plays here and there all throughout the season that he hasn't used in a long time. DeAndre Hopkins hasn't had the loudest postseason of any player
One catch.
on this team. Yeah, and you know what that means? Andy Reid knows that too. So ultimately, I'm looking at the opportunity for DeAndre Hopkins and his ability to come down with contested catches. His body, the way his body type works, he's always along the perimeter. He's always up in a ton of traffic. Do you remember a game against the Bills once when he was playing for Arizona? That was a pretty nice catch. Those are the types of things I think that they'll be looking for in this matchup.
All right, so he hasn't necessarily had a historic postseason. Saquon Barkley has. He's been on a historic run. So the question is, what do you even compare for Saquon Barkley? Who do we put head-to-head for Saquon? The entire Chiefs offense. Who will have more rushing yards? I still think it's going to be Saquon Barkley, who is 2 yards away from having the most pre-Super Bowl yards in playoff history. He was 2 yards behind John Riggins. Remember, he checked one down, could have had that way out of the way. He's 30 yards away from where Terrell Davis was with the most yards in postseason history. I think he gets that. I believe in the Eagles' defense. I think it's not close. I think Saquon's going to outrush the entire Chiefs team. So let's go back to Greg here. Who has more receptions in the game? Travis Kelce or Dallas Goedert?
Okay, I know Travis Kelce always shows up in the Super Bowl, but the numbers tell me it's Dallas Goedert. What do the Chiefs struggle to do more than anything on offense, defense, or special teams? It's stop the tight end. It's one of the only things that they are truly bad at. One of the worst teams in the league in terms of success rate, EPA per play, up the middle of the spine where Jalen Hurts can find Dallas Goedert, and it's not just going to be on those post routes, it's going to be on some of those screens. They love to use Dallas Goedert after the catch. Heck, they had him in the backfield in the conference championship running the ball. That shows how much they trust him. So I'm going Dallas Goedert with a big one on Super Bowl Sunday.
All right, let's move on to some defensive players, Cynthia. Which linebacker has more tackles in this game, Nick Bolton or Zach Bond?
Well, what did we talk about? Well, you said it. You mentioned it. The short passes behind the line of scrimmage that Patrick Mahomes is doing at a historic rate. Also runs. So my answer here is going to be Zach Bond, especially with Nakobe Dean not playing. I like Oren Burks. Let me be clear. He's had a great postseason, but I still think Zach Bond is extra. I mean, there's a reason that he had the accolades he's had all season long. But if you're talking about defending stuff in front of him, sorry, not going to get past him. So I think it's Zach Bond here for more tackles.
Shout out to Oren Burks. I hope the
Oren
best
Burks
for
is
him.
great.
He was sneaky huge in that Super Bowl
Massive.
in a negative way for the 49ers. So I just hope that doesn't happen this time.
We're talking about Zach Bond here. I can't believe it got a little
it's
shade.
the
from
guy right
Burks
next
there.
to him. I'm just
Sheesh.
Oren Burks came in, made a huge play in the NFC Championship. I mean, there's opportunity.
playing well.
Revenge is always there.
Recent form.
Last one. Who has more sacks in this game? Two very good interior defensive linemen, Chris Jones or Jalen Carter. I am going to go with Jones here because it's so difficult to get 15 on the ground. Jalen Hurts might hold on to the ball a little bit, lead to a sack, maybe two, maybe a sack and a half. Either way, I do think it's easier for Chris Jones to get on the board than it will be Jalen Carter, who's going to have to deal with those double teams. I mean, they both will, but I think it's Chris Jones, the guy who should have a Super Bowl MVP. I try to say it every chance that I can. The last time the Chiefs and the Eagles tangoed in the big game, one of the highest scoring Super Bowls of all time. Should we expect another bonanza of points, another score fest Sunday night in New Orleans? We're talking point totals and more even obscure prop bets right after this quick break. We're back on Game Day View. Folks, gear up for Super Bowl 59 with an 8.5-hour edition of NFL Game Day Morning, live from New Orleans. It all kicks off at 9 a.m. Eastern. Rich and the crew will be joined by special guests, plus exclusive interviews with Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Jalen Hurts, and A.J. Brown. All that and so much more. Super Bowl Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Do not miss it.
Look how happy Baldy is.
I feel like you know those collages you made when you were a kid. Like I feel like that's what this is. Like nice magazine pictures.
It's like on a shoebox somewhere, simulating that.
BFFs.
Natural habitat. Let's look at some totals in these Super Bowls since 2019. The over has only hit once, but it was when the Chiefs played the Eagles in Super Bowl 57 there in Glendale. So the total for Super Bowl 59 is 49 points. It's time to discuss over or under. We've got some foam fingers to dictate how we feel, not dictate, to indicate how we feel about the scoring in this game. I've got the over. I've got 56 points, and that feels a little like relatively like conservative, but no, easy over for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've got 63 points, and you look at the last time these two teams played in the Super Bowl, and then you just look at the last games that these two teams played. The Chiefs and the Bills, they got to 61, and that was freezing cold weather. The Commanders and the Eagles, I actually can't even count that high. You got to go to Cynthia to figure out what the total that they got in this. These are two offenses that I think are playing their very best. Offense wins championships. Don't let anyone tell you differently. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
I mean, I'm the most conservative amongst the three of us, and I'm at 55. So
yes.
I, too, believe that it is more than the total number with 49, whatever it is. So I think this is going to be an interesting one, though, because both defenses are something that we talk about. However, it's the masterminding of the offenses that really drives this one for me.
All right, let's keep more or less going here as we get into some player props. Patrick Mahomes ran for 66 yards in last year's Super Bowl. Cynthia, does he run for over 30 yards on Sunday?
Yes, he does. The model says at least 32 and 50% of simulations. If you look at just the sheer number, we've been talking about it. It's tripled, threefold increase in terms of number of rushing attempts, be they scrambles or not. Who cares? They all count as the same thing for our purposes here. So I think this could be a really good opportunity whenever his offensive line, especially on the left, is under a little bit of pressure. Run to the right, my friend. Run to the right.
You know, they got those 3.5 weeks off, and people wonder, well, is that going to be rust? And then I've watched Patrick Mahomes running faster than he's run all season long. I've seen Kareem Hunt look like he just had a long vacation, which he essentially did, and looking fresher. This is what happens when you're the 1 seed and you only lose one game. Patrick Mahomes actually picks up speed.
Yeah, rest is good. Breaking news. Let's go to receiving yards, because A.J. Brown is a spectacular wide receiver. The question is, will he have more or less than 71.5 receiving yards?
I had to go yes here. I mentioned the outside advantage that I think Philadelphia has in the passing game. I just don't think the Chiefs are at their best covering those deep passes down the field. Ultimately, A.J. Brown, for much of this season, was a first-team All-Pro to me. It was him, it was J.J., it was Jamar Chase. Got a little banged up, had some slow moments in the playoffs. We needed assistant coach Brandon Graham to set things right between him and Jalen Hurts, but he is smoking now, coming into the Super Bowl with a week off and coming off a great NFC championship game. I think he has a big game.
I think if you it makes sense, right? Logical sense. We all think a lot of points. We all think a lot of scoring. If you're an under enthusiast, that could be the one that I think maybe you switch the Devontae Smith number for, but that's only if you're an under enthusiast. And who likes that? The under's no fun.
Yeah. Take that, under enthusiast. I'll take the last one. Will Travis Kelce's longest reception in the game be over 19.5 yards? Greg?
I say under.
I think it will be, and I'll tell you exactly. I'll tell you exactly how it's going to happen. It's going to be a 2nd and 7. Travis Kelce is going to curl up about 12 yards away from the line of scrimmage. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to do what appears to be a glacially slow turn, which is going to cause a defender to fall down, and he's going to go for 22 yards. That is my prediction, because like taking the other side of this feels like something I would do at my peril. But, you know, as an under enthusiast.
That move has never not worked.
Ever.
Every time Travis Kelce just puts a little bit of a fake to the right and then curls to the left, it works. I don't know. His 19.5 yards, though, it just takes a little longer than it used to. So I'm thinking about the regular season, and maybe I shouldn't, when there wasn't a lot of explosive plays from Kelce.
Yeah. All the fast people were chasing him, but now they've, as you pointed out, they've got more fast people on the field that are more of an issue to cover. When we come back, folks, we're going to finally make our picks for who's going to actually win Super Bowl 59. What do you think? Have you been tracking each decision to say, well, I think Cynthia's going with the Chiefs, or I think it's the Eagles? Is KC destined for a three-peat? Is there revenge for Philly? All that plus, who's going to win the MVP? That's coming up next on Game Day View.
Another step in a row. Let's handle business.
Start to turn this thing up.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to score with him.
Oh my goodness!
Certified lover boy, certified.
Touchdown!
I'ma do my stuff.
You gotta love it.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Attention! This flock of Eagles is heading to New Orleans.
The Chiefs have the Lamar Hunt Trophy, and they're taking it to the Super Bowl for a three-peat.
Yeah, it's all eyes on me, and I'ma send it up the pot. Ay, how many stocks do I really have in stock? Ay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Ay, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Oh, what a beautiful opportunity and a beautiful place. Shout out to New Orleans, Louisiana, the Caesars Superdome, site of Super Bowl 59, and how appropriate. It's time for us to seize the season. Presented by Caesars Sportsbook. As we're looking at the first touchdown score odds on Sunday, Saquon and Jalen Hurts leading the way, followed up by Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, and Xavier Worthy, as we finally made it, guys. It's time for us to make.
You looked at me with some consternation there, Greg. What was
I'm
wrong?
still trying to decide what my pick is going to be. Like,
got it.
the whole
Okay.
season
You looked
leading
over
to
like
this moment.
Yeah, I mean, we got a rundown, but Greg's a wild card. He can make a change at any point as we
Audible.
get to our picks. The Chiefs looking to become the first team in history to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts and Saquon trying to get their first rings. Who is winning Super Bowl 59, Greg Rosenthal?
It has to be the Philadelphia Eagles. 33-30 is the score. When you think about the NFL lately, maybe you're thinking it's all a little too similar. 4 of the last 6 years in the Super Bowl, it's been either 49ers Chiefs or Eagles Chiefs. So what do you do to change that up? You add a new player to the dynamic, and that player has defined that this season, and that player is Saquon Barkley. In the same way that Patrick Mahomes came into our lives and won that MVP back in 2018 and then won the Super Bowl in 2019, Saquon Barkley has come to this Eagles team and he's changed the entire landscape. They are the most talented team in the NFL. If you go through the rosters at most positions, I'm taking Eagles over Chiefs. But they haven't been able to match them in terms of their best player. And I know it's a running back, and running backs don't matter as much as quarterbacks, but this running back plus this offensive line in this season does matter just as much as Patrick Mahomes. And Saquon Barkley has had a season we will be talking about for the rest of our lives. And the only way that that season can finish is with him up on the podium, winning that MVP award with like 170 total yards from scrimmage. 33-30, the Eagles get it done.
I don't know how I can follow that. However, I do have a 1-point win for the Eagles. My model a little bit surprised me. I guess if I'm picking with my gut, I would have gone with the Chiefs. However, the model has 28-27. Same model that got me here. Same model that went about 72% for the season. So gonna have to trust it here on this one. You had to get that in there just in the one.
And that got you Eagles Chiefs before this season.
Hey, but ultimately, to me, Dallas Goedert is one of the biggest difference makers. Greg talked about it earlier. This is an area where the Chiefs have a weakness. And if there's one thing that I think is going to be hard, it's picking your poison. Which poison are you going to pick? You're going to pick the A.J. Brown poison, Saquon Barkley poison, the Devontae Smith poison. You're going to have to pick one. And Dallas Goedert, to me, has the best opportunity to be in the spot right where Jalen Hurts needs him at the moment that he needs him with just enough time. And, I mean, if they're going to give him that much separation, then maybe it's a lot of Dallas Goedert, but ultimately I think that's going to be the difference.
I'm surprised the model went with the Eagles. Now, you got to go Chiefs here.
Well, I mean,
we cannot be given a meme alert against the best team of all time.
It's important to have differences, and I think a lot of things are different than the last time the Eagles played the Chiefs. But we're not different in our picks. I've got Philadelphia Eagles winning by a wider margin than Cynthia and Greg. I've got 32-24 because Vic Fangio isn't coming in as a consultant. He's actually coordinated this defense. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, all these guys were not Eagles, but it's Nolan Smith. It is Jalen Carter. It's a couple of dogs that I think are the reason that the Eagles are winning this game because, as Greg pointed out, they're just a good, solid team position by position all across the board. And yes, there is sameness. The Chiefs are good. Patrick Mahomes is still a very good quarterback, but sometimes you lose games. Sometimes you lose games because there's an overwhelming talent differential, and I think that talent differential favors the Philadelphia Eagles. NFL Game Day View is, of course, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook. New users can place their first bet up to $1,059 and get it back as a bonus bet if you lose. Use promo code TV1000, must be 21 or older. See Caesars.com/promos in order to get the full terms. Now, there's a secondary question. The Eagles win the Super Bowl, as we all selected. Who's going to win the MVP? Here are the odds. Patrick Mahomes, of course, the far and away favorite, and then Saquon and Jalen Hurts. So let us make our picks for the Super Bowl 59 MVP. Who is yours, Greg Rosenthal?
Well, I just made a whole big speech about how Saquon Barkley is going to be holding the MVP, but actually I'm going Jalen Hurts for this question. He's the quarterback. I like the odds better. It's more about the value. You have a running back there as a pretty heavy favorite to be the MVP. I do think people get into narratives. Barkley would be a great narrative, but if Jalen Hurts puts together like a 250-yard, 2-touchdown type of game, I think everyone would really get on board with, hey, let's give this quarterback his shine. He has been so important for this team. Quarterbacks almost always win this award. Let's go, Jalen.
And you know Jalen Hurts already has like a Rolodex of very hard quotes that people are going to put on Instagram if he gets that award, which Cynthia generally goes to quarterback. Like, you have to do something really special to win this award as a not quarterback.
33 quarterbacks, 8 wide receivers, 7 running backs, only 10 total defensive players ever. But I'm thinking Jalen Carter might be your 11th in these MVP. Why? Well, we know that the O-line is an issue, and I know Jalen Carter, he kind of lines up not in the area on the left side. He'd be on the offensive right. However, he can be such a huge wrecking ball that he can even make Creed Humphrey look like not as good of a player as he is. And Humphrey is electric. So when I'm looking at the opportunity here to go a little off menu, to go a little bit value shopping, to go a little bit of upside looking, I'm going for Jalen Carter because we know the quarterbacks probably are going to get it. Saquon probably after that. But why not be fun? We like fun. Jalen Carter.
All right, so we got 2 quarterback picks there, myself and Greg, and Cynthia going off the board with a defensive lineman. Thanks for watching Game Day View, presented by Caesars Sportsbook all season. We hope you enjoy Super Bowl 59. For Cynthia and Greg, I'm Patrick. See you next year.